look at these guys, all geared up in their 3-ice equipment. Let's start with you, Ray Bourque. What's it like being a coach in this league? It's fun to watch. What's it like to be behind the bench?
Well, this is my first time really coaching since I was coaching my kids when they were just maybe Pee-wee or Bantam age. So, but I'm still coaching my son, Chris. So that was really exciting to me to have a chance to coach Chris and to be part of this 3-on-3 ice. And my first week was eye-opening, really. That first game was, I mean, it was crazy. I was like, things were happening so fast, and I was like, okay, is there anything I should say here to slow things down? But there's 6 players on both sides. The guys are out there working really hard, and then they're on the bench, and at times they have no time to recover, and they got to go back out there. So the second game was able to kind of just slow it down a little bit and have a little strategy. So I'm looking forward to the next game and hopefully having an impact on my players and my team.
All 3 of you guys had massive impacts as players. As a coach, and you have coaching experience, obviously we remember, what's it like coaching a game that has this kind of pace?
Well, it's really hard, I think, especially last year. I think, everybody kind of played 3-on-3 before, but not in that format. So there was a lot of uncertainties last year. I think players, took them maybe 2-3 weeks to kind of get accustomed to the rules. And the same thing for the coaches behind. Like, we didn't know most of those players. We got stats on papers, had a chance to see them on videos at one point, talking to one guy or the other that know them. But to have them as a team was kind of different, but it was fun, and I have to give them credit. It's fun for us. We can give them direction, but those guys work extremely hard, and it's fun. And they're there for, obviously they want to prove to everybody that they deserve to maybe go back in the NHL or to go back to the show. But it was fun. It's
a great showcase for them. Yeah. Goal scoring, something I remember a lot from you during those Philly years, 3 straight years with 50. When you watch these scoring opportunities, what are you thinking?
I'm thinking I wish I could shoot the puck like some of these guys. We got a lot of talent out there on the ice. These kids today, obviously, the game's changed with the speed and the skill. To watch these guys rip a puck, and then not only that, with the 3-on-3, we get a chance to let them use their creativity a lot more, and you see a lot more of the lacrosse stuff, and a lot of these highlight goals. There's 2 or 3 every night when we play, and it's a lot of fun to watch.
Ray, he talked about the speed and the skill. When the Avs won the Cup in 2001, there was a particular defenseman that everyone was rooting for. The last time they won the Cup, this Cale Makar kid comes along, and he just blows everyone away. At his age, to have that poise, that composure. When you watch him, what do you think?
I go, wow, what a future for this kid. Loved watching him. He's got the skill, the speed, he's got all the ability, but I really like his drive and how he competes, It's one thing to have all that talent, but to be able to compete like he does and to be hard to play against as well, I think he has the full package, and this kid's going to have an amazing career.
He is so fun to watch, and he's such a great ambassador for the game, even at his early age. I'm coming to you to talk about the guy who wins the Selke now every single year. He's part of your fraternity, Patrice Bergeron. And players of his ilk, you're seeing a lot more players who are responsible in playing that 200-foot game. As a veteran who did that, how does that make you feel?
It makes you feel good. Obviously, I think when I was a coach and you look at teams now, especially with the salary cap, it's hard to replace players, and it's hard to kind of go and ask somebody that, scored a lot of goals in his junior or in the American League to kind of play a little bit more defensively to help the team. Not that they're not willing to do it, but when you have a guy like Patrice or Anze Kopitar in LA doing it constantly every game, it makes you feel good. I think if you want to win in this league now, you need everybody, and I think those guys are worth their gold.
The Flyers needed everybody. With where the franchise is at, you get brought back into the fold. I watched when you had your introductory press conference, the internet feed of it, and you talked about your conversation with Keith Jones. It didn't take any prodding for you to come back. That says a lot about what it means to be a Flyer. You still feel it.
I do. Philly's home. I'm fortunate enough I won a Stanley Cup in Montreal, and I still got a lot of great memories of Montreal, but Philly's been home. And to be back in the mix has been great. We got some work to do. It's not where we want to be, obviously, but we're going to get there, and I think we're off to a great start.
There was a quick snippet of video there where you had a shiner. That's the stuff that people
That counted
remember.
too, by the way.
Yes,
It's
it
playoff
did.
hockey right there.
Yes, it is. Let's talk about some of your fondest memories. For you, I have a guess that it might involve 2001. Am I accurate on that?
Well, there's bookends for me. You know, obviously your first NHL game, 1979 against the Winnipeg Jets. I think it was October 10th. But then, then finishing it up, winning my last game, and so many great memories in between. But it was. But the one thing that people, whenever I meet anybody in Boston, what comes up the most is the night that they retired Phil Esposito's number.
So classy what you did.
That was, it had nothing to do with scoring a goal or anything like that, but it was just the right thing to do. And I knew that Phil was, made his day that day. So it was really a lot of fun to be part of that.
Guy, winning the Cup is special wherever, whether it's Las Vegas or it is Montreal. In Montreal, though, it is so esteemed. This is such a special achievement. Turn the clock back to '93 as the captain. What was that like to elevate that city, which had experienced it so many times?
Well, I think as a hockey player, I think your dream is always to one, to play in the NHL, and the second thing is probably to win the Stanley Cup. So I had the chance to do it in '86, but in Calgary. Having the chance to do it in '93 again, but in Montreal, we saw the team. John was on the team. It was kind of a special team. Jacques Demers was our coach. He started the season telling us that we were going to win the Stanley Cup at the end of the year, and he never, stopped believing in it. And it was fun to be part of this. And obviously, winning is what we want to do, but winning at home in front of your fan and your family, it's the best.
He said, never stop believing. Journey, excuse me, but I believe it when you guys say it, because I remember the '93 Cup run. Each of you had 2 overtime game winners.
Yep.
What allowed you, John, and as a teammate, you saw him do it twice too. What allowed you guys to have that never-ending belief? Because your regular season wasn't extraordinary. What happened?
Yeah, we actually lost the first 2 games of the playoffs that year to Quebec, and we never lost faith. And it's one of those things like, you hear about these teams that win the Cup, how they come together and they're just so tight-knit at the end. And that's exactly what happened to our group. And, we got into overtime. There wasn't an ounce of panic. We had a pretty good guy behind the pipes there that we had a lot of confidence in, and Patrick.
Good. Yeah.
You got Patrick saying they're not going to score, boys. It doesn't matter how long it takes. It gives you a lot of confidence. And like I said, I don't think anybody ever panicked. We went to overtime. We felt comfortable in every situation, and we were that tight-knit group that won a cup.
Now, he spoke of their cup together. For you, it was your last game and a win in Game 7. And Alex Tanguay, we had the privilege of working alongside him, and Dave Reed. Dave Reed was one of 2 players that essentially gave you like the Super Bowl head coach's ride afterwards.
Yeah.
What was it like? Everybody was rooting for you, but then what was it like to have the esteem of your teammates, your peers that wanted this so badly for you?
Well, it really made me feel uncomfortable. Let's win it for Ray. Let's win it for Ray. I'm like, no, let's win it for all of us. Believe me, we're all going to enjoy this. But I really thought it was a great story, right? The old guy chasing the cup, and it was a win-win for hockey. And when something like that is positive, I was watching Dave Andrechuk a couple of years later with Tampa Bay.
04, yeah.
I was like, the same kind of story, right? The guy playing so long, had an amazing career. I mean, perfect ending. So for me, it was a relief to finally, after 22 years, right, lifting the cup and Joe being so classy and letting me kind of hoist the cup first. And that's all he wanted to talk about. We win Game 6 in New Jersey. We're flying back. And all he's like, Ray, okay, how are we going to do it? I'm like, what, Joe? He says, the cup thing. I'm like, Joe, let's win that game, and then we'll have plenty of time to talk about the cup thing. But Joe's so, classy as he is, and just an amazing teammate and player. So to be able to hoist the cup was just an amazing feeling. One that you really hope that, you know, everybody has a chance to experience, because there's nothing like that. What comes after with the parades and you know, just your teammates and the celebrations and you know, every year at the end of that game time, I get a call from Sean Podine wishing me happy anniversary, Big Ray. So
That's
it was
beautiful.
like just, you know, the memories you have, the teammates, the connection. You know, Brian Trotzy always said that, you know, you win together, you walk together for life. So, and that's really the way it is.
Fred Fogg-Shiro said it with the Flyers, as you well know. You guys are just some of the cup winners that serve as coaches in this 3-ice league. As we look at all of the head coaches, I see just huge name after huge name. Give me one name that's up there, and it might be Eddie Johnston, the most veteran of all of you, that when you're coaching against him, there's a real sense of awe.
There's a few names up there.
Yeah, there's a few.
All of them.
Yeah.
How about
There
that?
is,
I would say pretty much all of them.
Which is a great compliment.
Yeah.
Spoken like hockey players that are all cup champs. This has been such a thrill. Good luck to you guys the rest of the 3-ice season.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.